Alright, here we go. Hello everybody, we are continuing with our little series. So far I've been having a lot of fun doing this and not planning on stopping anytime soon. So here's what we got so far. This is literally a picture I took. Well, I didn't take the picture, obviously. I took it from the internet. And as you can see there on the corner, the outlines of a story. So that's all we kind of start with. A few pictures and a little story. And we're gonna try to make it work. Let me know if sound is okay. Alright, so we got two pictures. Two like base pictures in which we're going to be adding our creature, our little monster, and then we're gonna have a little second group of pictures, and with all of those we'll try to build a little story. As you can see here in the second group of pictures I got way more and I still haven't really chosen. We'll see, that's for later. But now we'll do these two pictures. Are gonna be the main ones, the header ones, where you'll see our little monster clearly. And here's what we're gonna try to put in. Larvae? Larvae? How do I pronounce larvae? Hang on.
Lava.
Lava. Thanks, Google. There we go. Now we know how to pronounce lava. Larva. Anyway, as we were doing... So we have to choose like our main picture of the larva and encase it here in the eyes. That's the idea. So first thing we're gonna do, as we did before in our last two edits, is kind of prepare the ground for it. You don't like cut the whole larva, try to match the lighting and everything. Do the whole encased in eyes effect, which might not be as easy as it sounds. And yeah, that's the gist of it. We also have to prepare the base pictures a little bit, because there's a few things that we have to match. As you can see here and here, well, they're not exactly on the same block of ice, just like similar enough. Since we're going to be putting our thing here, I don't mind that this part doesn't look exactly the same, but at least I like the shape, like the exterior shape of it to look similar. And second of all, as you can see, they're pulling the sleigh here themselves. They're just with a harness like this. So as you can see in this picture, this guy with the light colored coat is having the harness, and the second one we also have like a guy in a light color, guy in a dark color, but this time the one in the dark color is wearing the harness. So the idea, what I wanted to do is take this jacket and make it lighter, so it kind of matches with this one, and we don't have to like, I don't know, jump through hoops to explain everything. The other guy should be similar enough, but maybe we can darken the jacket a little bit. We have the good luck that they're facing away from the camera, so there's no like face matching to do. This one you can see the face, but obviously I don't mind. Yes, that's the only place where you can see the face. So By the way, I know the names of these guys. I can check it out if needed. Later we're gonna be doing some excerpts from the diary of one of them. I still haven't chosen like who's it gonna be, like the perspective from which we're gonna tell the story. So yeah, we'll see about that. Because okay, this Wikipedia article on Australian Antarctic expedition, which is where these pictures are from, and this is what we're basing the story on. So I'm gonna be trying to take from that story and not trying to incorporate like non-existing people. The story is like interesting enough on its own that I don't think I really need to add any extraneous elements to make it more interesting, you know? So, well, this is a very long article. It's very, very extensive. Details the whole expedition. I had a blast reading through it, and I recommend you do so if you're interested in this kind of thing. But we're gonna be basing our story on a lot of what happens during this expedition. That's the idea, at least. So we'll try to do that. And as you can see up here, story so far, or the broad strokes of what I thought is, well, this expedition takes place between 1911 and 1914. This is specifically going to happen in 1914 because there's like one large group that arrives and it's supposed to go on for one season, for 1 year. But a few people from that group get lost. A couple of them die. And since they arrive late, the boat has gone on without them. So they have to stay 1 more year. So there's like a party of 3 that gets lost. 2 of them die, and the guy that's left misses the boat. So a few people wait for him, and you have a second year of the expedition, which is just this small group that's kind of waiting for the next season to be able to get out. Obviously the boat had to go because they, like, if it didn't, it would get like encased in the ice and wouldn't be able to leave again. So this group stays for the second year, and during that second year they're kind of stuck for most of the year because it's winter there. So during that time they don't do a lot, but then they start doing little search parties to get back some of the stuff they left around. So this is going to take place in one of those final search parties, right? In the final season of this expedition, there's a couple guys that have their own little sled. They're pulling themselves. There's not many dogs left at this point of the expedition, and they're gonna be finding a weird thing. Okay, they're gonna be finding like big ice encased lava. They're gonna be cutting that ice and bringing it back to the base. And initially I was thinking of making them get lost and die in the middle of the... It should be quite dramatic, but it would be very similar to the 2 stories I've already done. So I didn't want to like repeat the same story bits again. That's why I didn't go with that, or so far I'm not gonna go with that. So what actually happens during the second year of the expedition is one of the people that's left, who's a telecommunication operator, goes paranoid. He has a huge mental breakdown, and he has to resign from his post. Nothing really happens to him. Like, it's quite a dramatic situation, but as he gets back to Australia, he'll never recover his mental state, and he'll end up dying in a mental hospital in the 40s. So, kind of what I would like to like use that part of the story to bring an end to this artifact we're gonna make, this little creature. And it's kind of Lovecraftian too, to have like people lose their minds. So that's the idea. I don't know how well I explain myself, but that's what I wanted to make. And here's the pictures I would like to use. These pictures, I didn't touch them at all. They're like actual old pictures from, let me pull this up. This year is it from? 1955. Still an old picture. This one is probably the same, just with a different exposure. Yeah, not probably, it is definitely the same. You can see the same hairs and everything. So I found both. So I took them both, because maybe we'll be able to use those different exposures to make a clearer image or something. I don't know. This couple here are from the same collection, and this one too. Actually, I don't know if this is the same one as one of these. They look very similar to each other. That's how larvae do. So I think for now we'll just take one of them and go with that. How about that? And I'm thinking, since the background, as you can see here, is going to be very bright, might be better to choose a darker one as base. We can do that. The thing we're gonna do is take a little lasso tool and just get close to that selection. Oh, well, we can actually, we'll do that in a sec. Hey, Mihadis. I could swear that guy from the blinking guy meme is you. Well, now my hair is too long to let you see my eyes. I don't know how to imitate him. It's true, it kind of looks like me. As it's like, I don't remember. I don't know how it's the exact facial expression he's making. Yeah, let's see if Photoshop does a good job, because it's a pretty clear background. So yeah, Photoshop does actually a very nice job. Let's use that. Impressive. Okay. We'll let Photoshop fix it up too. Especially in the face area. Probably can do a better job. Not really getting those hairs there. So I might not be that helpful. I'm getting the ones here. It's also clipping some of the background in. One of the things we're gonna have to do, since first it's an old picture and second it's encased in eyes, we're gonna be blurring in a lot. We're gonna be distorting the image quite a lot. So, I don't know. It might be for nothing to do a very precise edge here. We'll do it anyway. Just masking edges is fun. I'm using a very soft brush because we won't have like a super detailed edge. Oh, it's the other way around. So if you're coming in on the top right there, you can see the broad strokes of the story, or at least what I'm intending to do. And this is based on real story. This is based on what really happened in an Australian expedition in the year 1914. Obviously not the big bug. That's my thing, but a lot of what's gonna happen in the story is gonna be at least derived from the real things that happened. Okay, so this edge is pretty precise, pretty good. It's not very detailed, which this one does have. Maybe. So I'll try to more or less align these two. There we go. I'm gonna clip this one on top of this one. Now we can apply some of that face detail on here. And also, like, in general, some detail to the darker areas which are kind of underexposed here. That's a good thing of having two different exposures of the same picture, and kind of why I chose these two. Maybe they're not really aligned. Maybe I need to move them slightly. Seems better, right? And just by mixing these two exposures, we'll get a more neutral lighting on it that we can manipulate better later. See, now I made the lighting into a quite non-specific source. You can see a lot of specular highlights and stuff, but it's a better base. Yeah, let's try and get some of those small hairs. This one might be quite a tricky one because they are very small. I'm kind of gonna guess where this should be going. This might be like too sharp and detailed for what we need, but still. Let's see, I can get one more here. Like a couple here, actually. Some of the white hair is not going to be very visible, but still. Or is it? I mean, I could do this in a more efficient way. Using the density of the mask here will allow me to see what's behind it. And I'm noticing that I left some of this stuff out. Let me get it back. kind of a messy area, this one. It's kind of hard to guess with the silhouette that's here. By the way, if you're new here or you have any questions about what the hell am I doing, ask away. Since, by the way, let me pull out the other edits in this series, since some people might be new here, maybe didn't see them. Okay, this is the first one we did. And here's the second one we did. So the first one happened in... What happened? The story I made up with it. Happens in an excavation that's in the south of Sweden. They're trying to dig up Viking tombs, and they just happen upon this. And they're wondering what it is, but it ends mysteriously as the boat in which they're carrying it gets lost and destroyed. And only the few remains we can get are these pictures. And the second one, this one happens in the US, Eastern US, Maine. And, well, this thing washes ashore. And the fishermen like take it and pull it out. They make some jokes about it, but that same night a kid that's sneaking out to go see what the big deal is about mysteriously dies, and the fishermen attribute it to this thing being cursed and destroy the body. So it's like little stories, self-contained, unexplained phenomena sort of stuff. One of the big things I want to do with the stories is, all the big elements, is that they don't finish with an explanation. Like, you'll never have the satisfaction of knowing how it ends, of knowing what it is, or... Because I feel like when you explain the mystery, it gets it's more boring. I don't want to explain it. You'll have to figure that out for yourself. So that's why all my stories here are kind of self-contained. Hopefully that adds the mystery a little bit. Okay, we got our little bug here. Kinda hairy. I think that works more or less. Got the second exposure of this same picture here. It's just, I just added on the dark parts, so it kinda flattens the shape a little bit. Might reduce the opacity a little. There we go. Okay, so that's the base for our bug, and I think this one is gonna be more easy to work with, at least compared to the others. These are like a simple shape. We are already working from a black and white picture, which kind of helps. Let's call it larva base or something. And the idea, once we're done with it, it's gonna be to encase it in this big chunk of ice here. I don't know exactly in what position it should be. It should be pretty readable that it's lava. But yeah, it's gonna be encased, so it's gonna be sort of dimmed. And we're gonna have two angles of the same block, and the second one obviously will be bigger. So like in the other ones, we'll have a first picture that kind of doesn't show the entire thing, or shows it more in the background, and a second one that just zooms in a little bit, so shows you more of that detail. Also, I think having a few pictures of the same thing kind of adds to the mystery a little bit, to the realism. You have only one picture, I don't know, it's harder to suspend your disbelief. You have like two pictures and some newspaper articles and just a whole body of evidence, let's say. I think it helps. Alright, so which one shall we start with? I think we can start with the one that's closer, because then we can do like a more detailed larva, and then on the second one we'll just take the same one and reduce detail. That's how I did it on the other ones too. I started with the more detailed version, then just reduced it. Oh, first let's kind of match some of the elements in the background pictures, and maybe also introduce contrast in between the sky and the ice here, just for clarity. We're gonna start with this one. So one of the things I was explaining at first is that you can see that this sledge here is being carried by a guy instead of dogs, which is what you usually expect. And they also had sleds, I guess, carried by people in these expeditions. In any case, you can see they're carrying it with a harness. But in the second picture, the guys are dressed similarly. It looks like they've exchanged the harness. You can see this guy's dressed darker, this guy's dressed lighter. The guy that's dressed lighter is wearing the harness. The second picture, that's the other way around. The guy that's dressed darker is wearing the harness. So since we can't see the faces, I'll just match the clothing a little bit more. And I think it's all about just matching the values. Yeah, you can see here. It's kind of what we wanna match here. So on the second one, I'll just add a layer. Make it overlay, maybe? Or overlay, I guess I need to be lighter even. I'll just paint with white. Just do that manually. Also, the articles of clothing are pretty similar, aren't they? I guess I don't have to lighten this whole area. This, you can see here, the hat is darker, the gloves too. Okay, let's see. That's closer, right? That feels more right. Same for the pants too. Let's give him a little light. And then let's, since we're here, darken the hat even. How's that? I guess I kind of have to guess where the gloves are. I had to guess it's this area. It's kind of hard to distinguish, but since it's all the same value. I'll just darken the area. I guess this is a glove too, but it's pretty dark already. Kind of hard because since this is in the base one, the values are so similar between the gloves and the legs, and we have to introduce some value differences. I suddenly have to make a decision of where the gloves end, where the leg begins. John Carpenter, Lost Themes. Let's see that. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, that's kind of atmospheric. I like it for this. Hey, Kostika, how are you doing? He's doing the Morgan Spice pose? What's that pose? I shove a bar on the fit. Hang on. I gotta know what that is. Oh, the Captain Morgan. Okay. Yeah, that's true. So we're trying to match the values on this guy's clothing. Hey, thanks for the follow, Carton. How you doing? We're trying to match the values of the two background pictures, the clothing of the guys. As you can see in this one, the guy that's carrying the harness, that's pulling the sleigh, is dressed in light clothing, dark hat, dark gloves, and the guy that's dressed in more dark clothing is the one that's not wearing a harness. So in the second picture, it's kind of exchanged. The guy that's dressed lightly is the one that's not wearing the harness, vice versa. So we're trying to fix that. That's what I did on this guy. And on the other one, I guess I gotta darken it just a touch. We're just doing this with an overlay layer. Since the two pictures are from the same expedition, but they're very likely not from the same people. I'm guessing. No, actually, they are from the same people. Sorry. These are both are King George Land, which was just like one leg of the expedition. There's 3 guys, a photographer, and 2 scientists. You doing a bug thing again? Yeah, what does it look like? Yeah, we're doing the lava. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Okay, that feels closer to how they look in the first picture. And second thing I wanted to do to the background pictures is add a little bit of contrast between the eyes and the sky, because it's kind of hard to distinguish. So let's see. The first one here. We're gonna be adding a little levels. There we go, just to darken the sky a touch. I'm obviously not gonna apply it on the whole thing. Just gonna selectively apply it to the sky and the eyes. Actually, the eyes look much nicer. I like that. Okay. So we're gonna invert that layer mask, and then we're just gonna paint it on where we want to. I'm gonna do gradient first. It's the other way around, actually. There. That's much better, isn't it? You can also do it on the lower area, just to add a little vignette. See before and after. Yeah, that's gonna be better. Second picture, we're gonna do a very similar thing. We're gonna add exactly the same levels. Layer. We're gonna make a new layer mask though. Because this one we gotta apply it a little bit more carefully. Since we got a guy over here, I don't want to darken this whole deal. So one thing that's kind of hard is they all have information about what cameras they were using. So you kind of have to guess how the cameras worked. I don't know a lot about old cameras, but I know that they looked kind of filtered in some. At least they use raw. They use raw film. Because that's one of the rawest things you can get. Some lava traces. Oh, I'm infected too. Just a big larva will burst out of my chest any minute now, alien style. Okay. What's that? I think we need to darken just the area around him. As you can see in this second picture, especially since I cropped it much closer, there's a lot of noise, there's not a lot of detail. We kind of have to deal with it. I don't think that's too big of a deal, since I don't think it can even add to the atmosphere. It's just a bit harder to work with. Since anything I add on top of this picture, it has to get the same level of detail, the same level of noise, and you can see it's very highly noisy, especially in the parts that are just darkened. That's what I get for working with old pictures. Just so you can see, the original was kind of larger. It's kind of like this, but I wanted to zoom in our lava here. We can see it a bit better, even if it comes at the cost of just less detail generally. Okay, so we got our two pictures sort of set up. There's one more thing I'd like to match between them, and it's just the general shape of the iceberg thingy. What I'm gonna do is, since I think this one is a bit more interesting shape-wise, I'm gonna take a copy of it with the same levels layer. Okay, I'm gonna merge this. I'm gonna put it on top of the second image. And we're gonna try to match the shape here. So, by the way, all these pictures have come from on Archive, the New South Wales Archive/library, which has all their pictures online. And you guys guess how many pictures did I scroll through of this one expedition? Just throw a number at me. Like, how many pictures could there be of this expedition? 17. That's cold. Bit more than that. $143, still cold. Bit more. Take exactly 10 times that. It was 2,100 or something like that. Yeah, it was quite a long one to scroll through, but the results were good, since I found a huge variety of pictures. Ended up going with this ones, but we still have a few more to sort of complete the story, which I grouped up here. Just people walking with their sleds. Some of these are from the same people, some from different groups. There's a broken sled too. I don't know. I've got quite a few we can use to complete the rest of the story. Big SD cards? Yeah, I can't imagine how much film they went through. So, you can see here we matched our two little mountains, or like icicles, I guess, or ice, whatever. Since the level of detail on the one we just added is less than on the base one, since I had to blow it up a little to so I could match. Where possible, I'm gonna get the textures from the one in the back. So let's see. Now they feel like the same picture. There's this thing here in the middle, but I don't care about it, since that part's gonna be where we're gonna put our little beast. Alright, we got two sort of matching background pictures. Maybe the part that's right below it doesn't really match. I think that's fine. It's not such a noticeable thing. Alright, so we're gonna start with this one. We're gonna use this one as our base, since it's a bit closer, and we'll be able to put a more detailed bug there. And the bug is, we just got it a few minutes ago, haven't seen it. This is the original one, and this is like the second one we used. So we kind of combined these two, which are obviously from the same bug, just different exposures, sorry. Yeah, so I kind of combined them both to get a bit of a flatter picture that we can use. And this is the result. One of the things I wanted to try is a little puppet warping, maybe, and sort of curl it up a little bit more, since it's a bit more interesting. You see the larva sort of curled up around itself. How's this? Maybe a bit stretched, but it doesn't matter if we lose a little detail. Just make it dance a little bit. We're gonna lose a little detail by stretching it like this, but I don't really mind that, because we're gonna be losing a lot of detail either way, so... Let's see. Pop, pop. There we go. How's this? Okay, so... If we just put this and encase it in ice, the ice effect thingy will take a while, but it won't take that long in general to do the whole effect. I think I wanna like spice it up, add a little, I don't know, interest to this just regular looking lava dancing. So in the other ones, if you haven't seen them, this is Cecropia moth cocoon. But we took the cocoon and we added more stuff. These are crab legs right here, this lamprey mouth. These tubes here are some kind of shelled animal, which I don't recall the name of. And this one comes from the mold of all the whatever's left over from the mold of a cicada. We emptied out the eyes, we added this sort of fungus looking thing. We added pincers, we added wings, we added some texture to the body here. We added quite a few things. Tequila. You're talking a lot about alcohol today. Well, I just noticed my old camera is hanging out behind here. Well, not my old one. I guess this is the old one. Old looking one. Okay, so yeah, we kind of spiced up the other ones, and I kind of want to spice up this one too. I'm wondering how. What are some gross textures that we can add to this? Oh, by the way, do you know what I was also considering? I was also about to add for this one. This hell monster called Tarantula Wasp, and I still want to use it for a future one because this is, I don't know, it's the closest thing to a demon we have on this earth, I think. Black and red, evil looking guy. I kind of want to add it for another one, but I want it, since it's encased in ice, and we've already done like a pupa. I wanted to do like something larval, something like early stage of this creature, or a different one, could be. I think I'm sleepy. It's not editing. Oh, what are you editing? Pepper and hot sauce. Well, that's not far from reality. There's a lot of cultures that eat grubs, and I'm not gonna judge. To me, it's kind of nasty. I'm that cultured. Okay, would you eat, if someone offered it to you, would you eat a grilled and spiced grub like this? And they told you like it's a very important cultural thing. Go back to our non-copyrighted music, so the VOD doesn't get super muted. A photo shoot from 2 months ago. Missing doing photo shoots. Yeah, this photographer, it's kind of sucks. So you can't go out and shoot new stuff. Well, it's a good time to catch up on editing, I guess. Okay, here's one nasty texture that I found out existed the other day, and I learn the name of it. And I gotta go back to my Twitter because I retweeted that, but I don't really remember him right now. Hang on. Here we go. Globsters, that's the name. So I'm gonna show you some globsters. Globsters. There we go. So a globster is a name for a half decomposed body that is usually a seal or whale that washes up ashore. And you might recognize this one as a really classical SCP monster, but they kind of look hairy, and that's because the fat as it decomposes looks like that. So a lot of like conspiracy theories about this mysterious animals, like here it's like a guy representing how it would look like. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about, or just general theories about what this stuff can be. You can see this one is clearly a whale, for example, because you can see like the jaw. That's very characteristic. But a lot of them, this might be a crocodile or something. Others are like sea elephants, or I don't know. They look nasty though, don't they? So I like that sort of hairy texture. And oh, look at that. We don't have a lot of pictures, but the first one we could find is black and white. Could be usable. Where is it? Here. St. Augustine Monster. Ooh. And I wish I had known about these just a short while ago and I had known their names, because it would have gone really well with our last edits, but man, amazing they don't get eaten before they wash up. Yeah, I guess that's where you don't really see a lot of them, and they're like very rare occurrences. Originally postulated to be the remains of the giant octopus. Florida, of course. Why does every time I hear about the US and it's some crazy thing, it's Florida? Every time. 1995 analysis is gelatinous matter is a whale blubber, likely from a sperm whale. That's what it usually is. This is not a very high quality picture. Kind of like this area here. Let me see if I can find a higher quality. Washed up actors? Is that a thing? That's not the same thing. I was expecting an actual actor washing up on the beach. Yeah, let's get the... it's not super high quality, but I guess if there's only one picture, gotta take what we can get. This one looks... Probably the best one is this. Oh, what the hell? Still not very high quality, it's probably just blown up. Is there any other? Yeah, amazing that. Okay, and amazing. Okay, there were more pictures. There are a bit more if I'd remove the plural here. Still, this is terrible quality. Not a lot I can do with that. Oh, look, a drawing. I don't like this hairy undersea monster. Yeah, some of this is risky. But what's life without a little bit of risk? I guess this is the best I can get. Not super hyped about this one since there's not a lot of detail. Cannot place because let's see if I can pull it. No, I can't drag in on my. Okay, guess this one doesn't really work. Guess this one. It's not a good image, but it works. Okay, at least I can pull this one up. Not a lot of detail I can take from this though. God, I wish I had used something like that here, or sorry, here. I guess I used this kind of fungus looking thing, which is also pretty good. That's dumb. Not a lot I can take from here. Maybe some of the textures here can go nicely. Let's try that. Also, we can use this very neutral looking textures to get rid of a lot of the specular highlights, because there's a lot of them and they don't work that well. God, it's just not very detailed. Not really gonna work. Oh, we tried. Let's see other things we can do. Get out, you filthy monster. Not a lot more globsters. Nice. Let's see. God, I love this spore. Many memories. I used to play this long ago. I used to really like the creature maker thingy. Not really the game itself. I used to love doing creatures on there. I guess that kind of translates to my Photoshop stuff nowadays. Yeah, there's just not a lot of globster stuff online. People should be posting more globster content. Maybe Wikimedia has some more stuff. Nope. Not really. Wikipedia doesn't have a lot. Yeah, just the ones we already saw. Oh, hang on. If we go more specific ones. It's not very high quality either. Okay, why are old pictures of cryptids or cryptid looking stuff so low quality? Tilly and Bob. Oh. There we go. Again, super low quality. Why? Why is this so bad? Oh, I just want like a normal quality picture. it's taken with a digital camera in 2003. There should be something a bit better than that. Nantucket blob. Samples. Why? Why is it all so small? Where did they get their pictures? You guys seeing this? Exploding whale? Oh wow. Okay. So there's such a thing as exploding whales. That is something interesting I learned today. Okay, let's go back to our regularly scheduled search. Okay, let's look for grubs. Let's get the nastiest ones we can. Whale rain. Oh god. Oh. Damn it. There we go. Should we make it hairy? That is, I guess it's a legitimate question. How hairy should we make this grub? Because as I've said multiple times, hair on a bug is always gonna make it look creepier. Fluffy chunker. Well, if you want to see it like that. Think about grubs, about larvae, they look pretty much the same, right? They all look very similar to each other. Some colors and stuff, but this one has a bit more legs. Kinda like this one. Also very high quality. It has this nasty stuff there. I don't know what that is. Oh, this one is fun to look at. Oh, and there's this other one. Hang on, because I think I have it. Save it on here. Maybe not. Oh, there it is, yeah. Okay, I got like 2 or 3 more pictures. I debated whether I should use them or not. This one is just another larva that could be used. But it was kind of dirty. I ended up going for the one that was originally in black and white, because it would be easier. Okay, this one. I give it puppy ears. Just make it cute. You know, ice monster, but cute. I think I really like this one because it kind of encased itself. I guess this one is in the process to make itself into pupa, right? It's like doing this little protective thing around it. But it's really strange. And I only seen this couple pictures of that happening. It's apparently a weevil. Is that how you pronounce it? Weevil pupa? Or larva, I guess. So I debated whether or not to use something like this. And the problem with it is it kind of obscures what's inside. So I thought it might make it harder to just make out, especially because we're gonna be putting it inside an ice sheet. So we're gonna lose some detail from that, plus this obscuring half the grub. So I don't know. I really like it, but I think it would be hard to use. What I also have is a lot of ice pictures, and all these pictures of ice were actually taken in the same expedition to the South Pole, or to the Antarctic. I guess they didn't go to the South Pole in this one. And I kind of like this one. It really reminds me of this one we just looked at, but in ice form. So maybe I could use that for the ice sheet. I want to use this one as a base. It's pretty straightforward ice. It also matches this one pretty well. Then if we do add some texture on top of that, I like this one. So yeah, scrolling through 2,000 pictures of this, it gives some fruits. It was a very, very well documented expedition. Unlike other Antarctic expeditions, in which either it's not public domain or it's just not out there on the internet. This one, the Australasian, I guess that's the name, Australasian Antarctic expedition, is super well documented. Oh, there's some color pictures of it, which was really, let me show it to you. It's very surprising to me because it's like 1911, 1914. I was not expecting to find color pictures, and let's see if I can find them. Oh, also I got a lot of pictures of dogs, because as I scrolled through so many of them, I kind of saved the dog ones as I went along. You can see a few of them here. So cute. I love this one. This breed of dogs. There's even a puppy. Look at him. His name is Blizzard. Look at all these puppies. Now this is a very good one too. There we go. This one is super good. It's also like super high quality. Yeah, there's a few dogs. Oh, and look at this. Does this guy remind you of anything? It's an Adelaide penguin. It's one of the characters in one of the characters in a very long series of edits we've done. One here. There it is. This one here. And this one here. And this one here. So yeah, you can see there's a lot of edits that have the same species of penguin. Apparently very common in Antarctica. And there's a lot of stories about these penguins. They went and got close to the people and were apparently, just look at them, very curious and not afraid at all. They just went and visited people, like here, and they're just so cute. Penguininos. So there we go. That's a lot of pictures. Let me close them all. And oh, I was looking for the color pictures. Also from the same expedition. Here. Look at that. The color picture, and this is not colorized. It's not like colorized after the fact. This is an actual color picture with a technique that only existed between 1910 and 1920. Apparently there's only one company that made this kind of film, special film that could capture color. It must have been super expensive, and the company just went bankrupt in 1920 or something. But before that, they took it to this expedition, and look, just look at that. It's like a very special kind of color too. Use a few filters, so it gives up strange. I don't know. The saturation is very low. Some colors are just way dimmer than others. Still, color pictures from the 1910s. It's called Paget Plate. Paget Plate? I don't know. It's the guy who made it. Just thought it was interesting. Okay, let's start working on the ice effects. Cheat. I think let's start working on the ice. We can always go back to the grub and add more textures and stuff on it. Okay, so this is the ice sheet I wanted to use for a base. Let's put it over the grub. Let's just make a little chunk like that. It just covers it and the area around it. And then we're gonna have to choose how they cut it, because in the next pictures let me just pull one of them up. In the second pictures, like this one, for example, I don't know exactly which ones I'll use, but let's say this one. I'd like to put the block of ice on top of the sled, and maybe just take out some stuff. Kind of like they just removed as much as they could to bring back this big ice encased monster. I wanted to do at least one of those, so we're gonna have to recreate that, or redo that block of ice, maybe with the grub in a different sort of orientation. That's the idea, at least. So we're gonna have to be really mindful of how we put the ice, because if we make it harder for ourselves later, it's not worth it. Okay, so I sort of want this to look like it's a big sheet of ice that was very, very deep, and for some reason the ice sheets moved and this one just went to the surface, so we're just seeing like a broken plate of like very, very clear ice. That's the idea. Okay, I guess we can end it here. A more natural place. So I'm actually thinking I'm gonna put the larva on top. I'm gonna erase it selectively instead of putting the plate on top, the ice plate on top. Trying to juggle with that. There we go. I want to make it darker because I want to make it obvious that it's like a different type of ice, different like clearer type of ice. And high contrast, so we get a little bit more of that specular highlights. Werner should narrate this story. We will make we'll make it into a diary form later, I think. So we're gonna take the diary of one of these two guys. We're gonna take the real names, and or maybe the photographer too. It depends on. We'll check the details later, see how it matches up with the real story. So it has to be one of the guys that stayed in the second year of the expedition. It was like a group of 6, so we gotta take one of these people and do a little diary for them. We'll try to make it look like a diary too. Might have to handwrite and stuff. Actually, depending, I don't know exactly how I'll do it yet, but I might do the handwriting like physically, because it'll look more real than if we do it digitally like that, and then scan it. That might be a better way of doing it. Could also do it with a fountain pen or something that looks more like the real, what the real thing would look like. Guess we're just making it more complicated with each edit. The first one, the whole text was just written next to it. I didn't even try to make it into an actual looking, a real looking document. This one, it was just like a written thing next to it. For this one, we made where is it? Made a few newspaper clippings. We tried to make them look real and stuff. So I guess since we've set the bar so high, we gotta do something similar. So I'm gonna try at least to make a real looking diary to go with it. We can pull this up to the edge. Oh, we got a real edge here too. We can make this a bit larger since we don't need that much sharpness, that much detail. It's looking very flat. Okay, how about try something different? Yeah, maybe I'll try to make only this face here into the clear face. Something more like this. I guess not that dark. We can add a little darkness to it. Okay, so we can flip this. Hang on. Oop. There we go. So that way it'll just be visible through the clear area, like that. And then on top of this, well, I guess since this is 100%, we'll do it like that. That's better. Let's do an overlay, especially for the middle area. It's going to darken it a little. And then with another overlay, but this time with white instead of black, we're gonna try to do a little bit more specular highlights. Since there's not a lot here, I want it to look a bit shinier, I guess. Where's the light coming from? Oh, from the back, kind of. So. At this point, this is painting already. Whiten the edges, try to more or less blend it with what's in the background. Gonna make the highlights a little bit more shaped like the lines that we can already see here. Trying to increase those. Yeah, I think I've gone overboard. So let's get an eraser and just slightly erase it. You'd also like decrease the whole layer's opacity, but I don't want this here to get less opaque. I like them like that. Okay, so let's see. This is what we did. Try to make it a bit deeper, I guess. Hopefully that sort of works. Here's our little grub fellow. So, here's how I would like to do this. I'd like for at least the front part here, so we can see it more clearly. I'd like for that front part to be more in focus and more, I guess, more with more contrast, like it's closer and we can see it more clearly. And the part on the back, kind of like it's more far away, it's more obscured. And also, okay, let me copy this. And we'll rasterize it. So the puppet warp is already applied, and we don't have a smart object, so we can selectively get a very feathered lasso like this. Try to selectively blur the back parts of it. So, okay, first I'm gonna blur everything a little bit. Just, Gaussian blur. That's gonna be the base blur. It's gonna be what the clearest parts of the image are gonna look like. Then as we go back, gonna blur it further. One last one here. Maybe that's too much. Yeah, maybe I went overboard with some of the rests. Yeah, might be better like this. Compare the difference. Yeah, we lost a lot of detail, but that was intention. That was my intention at least. Oh, then gonna put the grub behind those shines, behind those little lights, so we can. So they go over him, and it looks like it's behind the glass, so to speak. Okay. Smart objects. Oh, didn't make a smart object. In order to reduce the detail, I want to increase the grain. I want to do it with the camera raw grain, which is very adjustable. Although I don't really see the results here because it's very dim. Okay, here's option number 2, which is... Let me go back, there we go. Option 2 is a technique that was taught to me the other day by Valdevia, really good retoucher, streaming here on Twitch. And it's a cool method of adding grain. I just made a little action out of it, so you can see it already applied here. It's an adjustable noise layer. So what it is basically is an empty 50% gray. Well, no, not an empty, like a full 50% gray layer, in which you then add noise, add a bunch of it, then a Gaussian blur on that noise. It kind of pulls up in like bigger grain, and then sharpen on that. And what you'll get, as you can see here, or let's just pull it to the top of everything. So you can see here, there's already a lot of noise, so it's still visible. Is that it's not just a layer with noise, it's a little bit more grainy. And if you increase the Gaussian blur, for example, you can get even grainier noise, which we can't really see here because there's already a lot of it. Actually, I can add something like this to all of it, so we get a bit more granular grain there. In any case, I'm gonna add another one just to the larva here. What I can do is, once this noise is done, flatten it. I'll make it larger. Oh, and by the way, this whole noise thing is in soft light mode. You can see here. Another thing I want to do is levels. Oh, that is not the right one. That is the right layer mask. There we go. So I want something that brightens the whole thing, reduces contrast, reduces detail in general. And I'm gonna selectively add that to the tail end. So it'll keep some contrast up here, but it'll lose it. It goes away, goes further away. I'd also like to add just a paint layer to get rid of some of the specular highlights. At least try to reduce them. There shouldn't be so many of them. Some of them here. There we go. Okay. So I'll put that at, I don't know, 50%, 60%. So we'll still keep a little bit of that, but how's that so far? Maybe I reduce the contrast a bit too much. This is just to bring back some of that contrast to the face part. A bit too much. Okay, let's say, like, let's take the dark. That's on the eyes here. I want to add some more dark to the back part. Since it's supposed to be clear eyes, I'm guessing we'd be able to see the like to see darkness there in the deeper areas. As we're seeing like deeper and deeper into the abyss. A lot of noise there. I don't really mind that much. Into a small Gaussian. And just a little paint layer to reduce the noise too. I'm trying to see how it looks if I darken it, if I lighten it. Just trying a few different approaches. Oh, we do have more ice textures to add on top. Hang on. Just this bubbly looking eyes. This one too. I kinda like this one. Okay, let's see how we can add this in interesting ways. So I'm thinking something like light on our screen with messing with levels at the same time. There we go. Maybe screen more than lighten. There. Okay, so I like this texture, it's interesting, but it does take away a lot of detail from our bug, which I don't love that much. Can slightly reduce it around just the bug area. Hello Marshall, how are you doing? Trying to encase a big bug in a chunk of ice and still have it be recognizable. So here we have it. I'm thinking we can increase its opacity a little bit. I'll play with it more manually in some places than others. Which, by the way, since we've messed with it so much, just gonna pull a copy of the bug on top. And this is how it looks like. So I'm trying to have that be readable, while still kind of looking like it's enclosed in ice. Because if I make it too sharp, too detailed, it doesn't look like it's in the ice anymore. It's a balance you gotta strike. I guess something I can do is reduce the opacity just in some places. The ice is irregular, so it'd be thicker in some areas, thinner in others. So around where the highlights are, which would be the thicker areas, just reduce the opacity. That's the idea, at least. I mean, we also have it like sort of clipped against the edge here. Something we can do is center it a little bit more. Make the folds span of the bug a bit more visible. Also have this slightly clearer version. Here we can pop it blur the whole thing a little and kind of be done with it. Maybe that'll look better than this selectively blurred version of it. You can also do a little camera raw filter and add a bunch of, as you can see here, if you add a lot of grain and then you make the size of the grain bigger, you lose detail in the process and you also make it grainy, which matches our base picture quite well. So that's what I just did. It'd be better than Gaussian blur. You're trying to lose a little bit of that detail. Also give it a little bit of shadow to not blend with its background so much. Since in some places it's kind of hard to guess where the bug starts, where the background ends. That might be too much, right? Giving it too much detail, maybe. Let me reduce the opacity there. It's a bit better. Also have this that really confuses everything a little. I kind of like it, but maybe just so everything's a bit more clear. We can mess with its size, maybe. Okay, how's that so far? I think everything's a little bit too dark. In general, we can lighten it with a small soft light. Alright, let's check our to-do list, which I did before the stream. We already matched jacket colors, we matched the eye shape, so that's done. And that's what we're working on right now. Let me try and make the bug itself a little bit darker. Okay, let me see what stuff we can do. Oh, these 2 layers. Kind of forgot about them. There we go. This one kind of increases our contrast. Can be good. This one does the opposite. So if we really wanted to blend it in, we could do this, but it might be a bit too harsh. If I were to really decrease the contrast like this, I would try to make the bug generally quite darker, if that makes sense. Hey mister, how are you doing? Trying to encase a big bug in a big chunk of ice. I'm good, I'm excited about this chapter of our story. And I'm happy that the other 2 were received quite well. First one was super well received on Reddit. Second one on Twitter. First one on Twitter afterwards. So yeah, I didn't talk about that on stream. So by chance and by the guy I talked to in the Twitter DMs, Yeah. So there's this guy I asked about when I was making this earlier one. I was looking for fonts to use on the newspaper, and I saw one guy that did like short horror stories and did something very similar to this. So I asked him about the fonts, and then we got talking a little bit. Guys has like 20k followers, so he's already pretty big. But he's friends, or he knows the creator of Siren Head. So, which is very big right now. I don't know if you've ever seen Siren Head. If you haven't, this here is Siren Head. It's a really popular monster right now. So I got retweeted by the creator of that, who has 200,000 followers, and yeah, really took off, really exploded. And the tweets where I posted it right now has 500 retweets and 3,000 likes. So for my small, tiny Twitter account that used to have 90 followers, that's huge. And the followers went from 90 to 700, or nearly 800 now. Crazy, in a day. Get like 650 followers in a day or something like that. It was wild. Yeah, if any of you came thanks to that, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. And I'm glad you like my weird horror projects. It's been very fun to make so far. Remember simple days when getting days off the hospital was a big deal. Simpler times. Now every day is a day off the hospital because I have no rotations anymore. It's all done. I basically have to do a practical exam, which will probably be around June. It's like an easy thing, it's a done deal. And present my like end of medicine work. You have to do like a big presentation, TFG in Spanish. And once that's done, I'm technically a doctor, although I can't practice medicine yet, but you'll be legally obligated to call me doctor. Never thought I'd be this long. 2 weeks max, nope. That is not the case. I'm not happy with this big bugger. So if you see this right now, as it is, first glance, is it working yet or not? Let me know, I won't get offended. Usually it takes a while to be convincing. Usually have to try a lot of different things. It's a very trial and error kind of medium. Maybe I need to move our bug here a little. Oh, I'll have to move this and this and this. Okay, so we can move him around the field here. And originally I had him like this, kind of clipping the edge. Kind of like he's peeking through this window. Hey Vladimir, how are you doing? Been a while. What's up? Well, it's, as you see, now we're making creepy stuff, I guess. And it's switching up my styles. So in this one, we're making a bug encased in a chunk of ice. But in other ones that you might not have seen, we did a cocoon and a big molt or shell washing up on some beach. There's a third one in that series. It's honestly very fun. I'm really enjoying the research process for this one. It's kind of complicated because you really have to go deep and find like super specific resources and collections from, I don't know, obscure libraries that are on the internet. Stuff like that. It's cool though. Been really enjoying it. That's cool, thank you. Yeah, I'm switching it up. I think it's good to try different things. I was a bit bored maybe or fed up with my usual style. And who knows, maybe when I'm done with this I'll come back to my old style and keep doing more classic surreal stuff. Maybe I'll go another direction. Who knows? No one knows. Trying to do a more consistent edge across the whole thing. I think it's slowly getting better. Gonna go a little bit more detail on this edge. Closer to the original. I am also going to do a slight shadow just below here. Switch up the artist, because I've added this a lot of songs by the same guy. A little bit of shadow there. Also thinking maybe around this side. Or a clearer edge. Kind of like that. I'll try to get a bit of a cleaner edge there. So how have you guys been enjoying this quarantine? Well, I guess if you're quarantined, because not every place is. For us in Spain, it's already loosening up, and I'm not entirely convinced the results are going to be very good about that, because they're going to be opening bars and restaurants only if they can put their tables outside and with appropriate distances and stuff. But still, I think it's going to be. There might be a second spike due to this, but yeah, that already started happening today, so I guess we'll see in a week or two, because everyone's gonna flock to the bars, because people are not really responsible. Yeah, now that we can go out a little bit more. Tomorrow, if the weather allows, I'll be going out into the woods, not away from society, so everyone's gonna be at the bars. I'm gonna try to stay away from that. Do a little nature walk. Much better. Okay, also a little chunk of ice. Still not entirely convinced. About how the ice looks. I think I'm more convinced right now about the grub thing being on the inside. I think it kind of looks encased in the ice. Hopefully it does. Let me know if it doesn't, but I'm not convinced about the look of the ice itself. Maybe it needs to be brighter, maybe it needs to be darker. I don't know. Be a touch darker. Could be, yeah. This one here I reduce a little. It's very much a balancing act. A little grub here. Okay, can put this right above it. So all these layers are the ones that make up the blob. The grub. We can still keep doing more stuff to the grub itself. Still not entirely convinced, but it looks pretty simple, and that's what I don't really like that much. Like, it looks like a basic grub, not like an otherworldly thing. That's where I'm struggling with this. It gets this one here might have some good textures. It's already cut for us, so that's really easy. Already a PNG. This makes everything a bit easier for us. Pull it up. There we go. That's pretty good. Well, not exactly perfect, but pretty good. So there's a couple things on this one I could take. 3 things. Little legs would be nice. Little puff here on the back. Looks fun. And this mess. So we could try to add some of those textures to our basic grub and try to, I don't know, make it more interesting. Let's do that in several phases. Phase 1, legs. Just gonna take the legs. I'm gonna take just the legs. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's clean up some of those edges. It's kind of blurry on this edge. That's fine. Also, we can see some color edges here. But you see how it magically disappears as we make it black and white. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna take a black and white thing. There we go. Oh, it didn't magically disappear. Disappointing. Okay, I guess we can let Photoshop do some of that work for us. do some edge detection. There we go. Yeah, that'll save us some work. Alright then. Gonna combine this. I'm gonna bring it down way below. Next to our little grub. There we go. We're gonna move it around because here we have this leg that doesn't match as well. I think we can move it like this. Then we are going to blur it. Well, now we can see a lot. I guess a lot of the details are lost. But we can still have the idea of legs there. The suggestion of legs. What else can we add from this little bugger? Oh, this tail thing is... I'm gonna try that. Try those on. Then we're gonna do this plus this. There we go, try to get a tighter selection around it. Do a little black and white. Just generally darken the whole thing. Merge that. Bring it down there. Okay, let's try and merge it. I'm just trying this out. Not binding, I guess. Oh, you lose a lot of little hairs there. But still, I like it better with than without, so. Remove some of the dark. There we go. Alright. Gonna make a little pause. I can go to the toilet and stuff. I'll be right back, okay? I put a little BRB there. I'll be back in like a minute. Alright everyone, I'm back. Did you miss me? Hang on, because my chair is blocked now. Got kind of a tight spot for my chair. I don't think I've ever shown this table from the other side. Two big problems with it. That the chair like very narrowly fits. It can be kind of uncomfortable. And the fact that the top is made of glass. So it can be kind of annoying, especially like the sounds. Because the mic picks everything up. But yeah. Alright, how are we doing with this? I think it's kind of alright. I don't know if it's 100% sold effect, but it sort of works. See, I don't know if I should make the left side here of this block also like transparent eyes. So, for example, yeah, is it too dim? Might be. Hang on, because we got something just for that. Before and after. A little bit more contrast there. Is that better? Okay, now I think we can take... Oh, actually, look at this. This is a very nice corner. Can use it here pretty well. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of the problem, like the knife's edge. You gotta balance on with this. It's having it be noticeable enough, like visible, but still make it look like it's behind the eyes. Okay, let me mess with this a little bit more. Warp it. Let's make it fit a bit better with the slope here. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on top actually, like above all these layers, and I try to blend it. I'm thinking on top of this, as a second layer, maybe flip this, match it with a slope. Alt and make a layer mask, so we can make a black layer mask. Which is something I also learned recently how that could be done. I love learning stuff about Photoshop, like 10 years pretty much since I started using it. So many little optimizations like that. Pro strats. Oh, that's very strong. There we go. Not really liking this edge much. Let's see with and without it. I kinda like that better. I don't know, let's mess with the shape of it. Maybe we can make it go down like this. Maybe more as a texture rather than eyes. For the corner, you mean? Yeah, so what I'm debating right now is if I should continue this eyes into that area here. I'm not really liking it that much. Yeah, maybe I'll try just getting this texture here. Yeah, soft line would be good. Not very visible, but we can play with the levels. Try to bring it out. Not really, right? Yeah, normal might be just what we need. If we just make the background here as bright as the snow, then we bring back some of the ripples. Too much detail though. So I'm gonna put this below. There we go. A bit of Gaussian. Not that much. Okay. What else could we try here? Maybe like this is soft light here. Just to make everything a bit more blended with the ice. A bit closer to that color. Let's do it on soft line though, because then we keep the details still. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with the results so far. This edge here, it's kind of unclear if the ice ends here or if it continues. Yeah, I think we can leave it like that. So, obviously this is for the second picture. I'm gonna take all of this. Yeah, that's it. Group it up. There we go. By the way, guys, this lava here still doesn't have a name, so I'm taking names if anyone has a suggestion. Okay, that's for picture number 2. And then for picture number 1, just gotta match this to the mountain in number 1, make it look like number 2. So obviously it's gonna be smaller. Oh yeah, there's some... Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Just gonna make it into a layer. Since we're not gonna be touching it a lot, and if we do... Oh. That didn't really work. Oh, sure. Okay. Zip it. Okay, so I'll just fix the... There. Should work better now. If we resize it. There we go. Much better. Okay. So we just gotta... fit it so it's approximately the same size. Let's see. Give it a second. Still too big. Give it a minute. Still big. Save, yeah, thank you. It's been a second since I've saved. That's more like it, right? I'm trying to compare it to something that is the same in both, which is this part here. So this part and the head sort of matches, right? Maybe I have to move it a little. It doesn't exactly match with that. Yeah, that is better. And now we just gotta fix the ice below it. Shouldn't be too much of a big deal. Gotta fill up that little hole there. What else? Oh, yeah. Just fill up this little corner. Shu and the raid. Hello everybody. How are you doing? Thanks for the raid, Shu. How was the stream? Hey everybody. And thanks for the follow, Willer Divino. Spanish, I guess. Welcome. Hey Boneless, hey Imp. We are making more old-time monsters. Thanks for the follow, Golfy. 03. So if you haven't seen my earlier stuff in this series, first we did this one with a sort of cocoon monster. Then we did this one, which has a shell or molt, like whatever's left over after a molt. I don't know the exact name. And this one is, the story is during an Australian expedition to Antarctica. Well, they find this bug, and then everyone's gonna go crazy, try to kill each other, stuff like that. Yeah, Acoustic has been missing for a long time. So yeah, what we did a second ago, thanks for the follow, Adelaide. What we did a second ago was this picture right now, what you're seeing. And we tried to make the larva here look like it's inside the eyes. Tried to make that section of the eyes look like it's like a clear eyes you can see through. And I kind of find this by coincidence and take it with them. And now we're trying to apply that on the second picture, which is this one here. And I'm noticing right now, is this, yeah, okay, yeah, the size sort of matches. So in the second picture here, I took this side of the little mountain from this one and copied it, so it looks like it's the same little outcrop. Hopefully, yeah, I think it's alright. Oh, there is something I could add to the background of the second picture, which is this little outcrop here. Let's see if I can manage that. So I'm just gonna take, let's go to the second picture, merge that. And get that right below. All right. Oh, well, hang on. I already had this. Oh, there you go. It's side of Twitch, especially in these times. We should all be in Twitch. If you're not, you're assumed to be skipping quarantine. That's what I wanted to do. And as you can see, this is extremely noisy. We are using actual pictures from the actual Australian expedition to the Antarctic. You can see, pull up this one, Australasian Antarctic Expedition. It's a very cool, like, I recommend you look this up, you get it on Wikipedia, and you give it a read, because it's so good. And it's a super thorough article. It tells you the whole story of it, and it's like a very tragic moment when during one of their parties, which was a party of 3, 2 of them die, and the third one, which is the leader of the whole expedition, gets stranded in the middle of the ice with only himself, a sled with a little bit of food, a few dogs that he ends up having to kill to eat, to survive. And he ends up arriving back at the base of the expedition like the day after the boat leaves. So the boat leaves because if it didn't, like, it was the end of the season and it had to leave to not get stranded in the ice. Everyone left, and the guy was left alone with only like 5 people who stayed to try to get him back for a whole year. An entire year more than planned in Antarctica because of that failed expedition. So yeah, like that logic. So yeah, this story is gonna be happening on that second year. So it's gonna be happening between the small group that was left that tried to just make it for a year, and that during most of that year it was obviously winter, and they couldn't even go out for a lot of that year. Later they started doing some more happy compositing. Got a dash. Okay, Shu. Have a great day. Thank you again. Drop all those shoe greens in the chat. Okay, now that feels... yeah. Now that really feels like it's the same outcrop. Even though it isn't. Okay, so we are back in picture number 1. These are going to be side by side. 2 pictures of the same moment. So they're just gonna exist next to each other like these 2. And this one, since it's further away, and we're also, the camera is also further away, I'm gonna take this whole thing . Why is it not flipping on the right thing? Oh, I got it. I think it's gonna work now. Yeah, now it's working. So just doing a simple normal layer, painting on top of it, and trying to make it less obvious that it's there. It's a bit further away too. Gonna make this, reduce the opacity or the contrast in the sky a little bit. So I'm in general just trying to to make it so in the first picture it's much less obvious that there's a thing there, so that you can see the first one and you kind of squint a little. Stare, what are they looking at? That looks weird. And then you go to the second one and you're like, oh shit, that's like a big grub. Big old larva. Since we're here and we have all the layers intact, I'm thinking that we can... Hang on a second. Take all of this. Maybe move it around a little. So it's like slightly from a slightly different perspective. Also, why is this so dark? I didn't paint through it. There we go. You know, just a slight parallax. Okay, other things I'm gonna do to this second picture. I'm gonna sort of hide it a little bit more behind the eyes. Kind of like there's snow on top of it. And in the second picture they've already like uncovered some of that snow, so it's more clearly visible. Also red below it. Need to cover this little area. So if we remove this, you can see that in this picture there's like a huge crack here in the eyes. So I obviously need to remove that so it looks the same as the other picture, which doesn't have a crack. Very straightforward. Okay. Maybe I overdid it with this. I'll reduce the density of that layer mask, feather it a little. Just so it's partially covered. Not that strongly. So how's that looking so far? Is it convincing enough? That is my biggest worry, always. Also specifically in this case, because it's not an very easy effect I'm trying to make. Also, one funny thing I found out is that when you try to make something look real, in this case I'm kind of telling a story, so I gotta like stay in character and explain it as if it was an unexplained phenomenon and these were actual pictures. A lot of people tend to be smartasses and say, oh, it's clearly Photoshop because this and that and that, and yeah, I hate those people. Well, when I posted the which one is it? This one on Reddit. And specifically on Reddit, that's where the most of that happens. One of the comments was, and it got heavily downvoted, so it made me feel good. One of the comments was, that is fake. The answers were, what gave it away? Was it the huge bug? I love it. They completely burned him. Yeah, Reddit, you get a lot of that on Reddit. I got a lot of it too when I posted the first one. I posted it to the first images subreddits, and it got like 30k upvotes. Hey, Koopa TV, thanks for the follow. Before starting to argue, you're making fake news? Yeah, exactly. I got a lot of that on the first one because I posted it to cursed images, and it got like 30k upvotes. It got really good number of upvotes. Got to the front page and stuff. I was happy, but a lot of comments were, well, this is clearly photoshopped. I'm like, okay, dude, I know. Like people trying to dig up the original images. And they got them. They got the original images. It's if you do a reverse search, you'll find it because it's pretty similar to the original, right? People like digging up the original images and say, "See, it's fake. It's fake." I was like, "Yeah, good job. You found it. I'm the artist who made it." They got shut up pretty quick. Exactly. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more hazy in that area. Kind of like there's some wind, there's some snow being blown around. Yeah, it got really, the first one got really good traction on Reddit, and the second one, funnily enough, I posted it to the same subreddits, to cursed images and stuff, and it didn't get approved by the mods, so I guess it was just a different mod. But it's fine, because it got really good numbers on Twitter. I talked about it before. I guess I'm just repeating. It got retweeted by Trevor Henderson, which you might know as the creator of Siren Head, a really popular monster right now. And the guy has 200,000 followers. So one retweet of his, and the snowball that it started, got me from 90 followers in Twitter to 700 and something followers that I have right now in one day. It was crazy. My phone absolutely blew up. Yeah, it was because he retweeted both of the ones I did. He retweets a lot of other like horror stuff and artists. He retweeted both of them. The one that got the most traction was this one, but and he commented. So obviously, like, gets a lot of people. It's in front of the eyes of a lot of people. I think it's at 500 retweets right now, which is crazy for a 90 follower account. It's better than 5 followers. I mean, it's all about talking to the right people. If you, because this it got sent to that guy, that Trevor Henderson, by a guy I had talked to the DMs, and who did like that kind of horror stuff, and I asked him about. He did something with a newspaper, so I asked him what font he used for that, and it was like nice to me. We talked for a little while, and then he saw it, and he was like, "Oh, that's super cool. I'm gonna send it to Trevor." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." Remember when you're becoming more famous? I mean, it's not famous. I just got a few more followers on Twitter, which I really appreciate because I like Twitter way more than Instagram right now. Instagram, it's alright, and there's a lot of people. I got 6,000 followers there, but I just don't like it as a social media. Don't like it as much. And yeah, on Twitter I can do stupid shit like a whole thread on the photographer of this expedition, which was, oh, actually, I'm gonna show you what I found about this guy. Hang on a sec. So, the photographer from this expedition, and let me show you the Twitter thread I made on him because it's basically all the information condensed. This guy called Frank Hurley, and you're not much of a Twitter fan. I prefer it to Instagram, especially on the art side. Twitter in general, not that good, but I really curate my Twitter. What I see on Twitter, I have a ton of words silenced, so I see nothing about politics. I see pretty much, I log onto Twitter and I see artists and what they do, and it's very, very satisfying to me. So yeah, this guy was a very interesting figure in photo manipulation history. His name is Frank Hurley, and he both took all the pictures you guys are seeing, pretty much. Some are from another guy. Some beautiful pictures from Antarctica. And also was an official Australian photographer in the First and Second World War. There's a picture from the first. And he kind of rose to notoriety because he started making composites. And here you can see one of the composite pictures he made. And I guess it's kind of getting obscured by my camera. This is one of the composite pictures he made. And this is the negatives they used to make him. So you see, you just combine a few negatives in the dark room, and you can see like two pictures of charges and a few pictures of the sky and some planes, and also pictures of explosions, which is not really visible there, but also different negatives to make something like this. And it's really funny. It's completely different from like it's not what you'd expect from a First World War photographer to do like complicated composites like this. But the guy went under a lot of criticism for doing this. So the official historian for the Australian Expeditionary Force, which was basically his superior, was super angry at this, and he was about to lose his whole job. These are some other composites by him. You can see here just added the explosion to an otherwise calm scene. Here he added the sky. The dude was making Photoshop composites before Photoshop even existed. And he got under a lot of fire. And this is a quote from him. To include the... none but those who have endeavored can realize the unsurmountable difficulties of portraying a modern battle by the camera. To include the event on a single negative, I have tried and tried, but the results are hopeless. Now, if the negatives are taken of all the separate incidents in the action and combined, some idea may be gained of what modern battle looks like. So he's doing this to not to represent or to fake a reality, but for him it was a way to show, like, in a single picture as much of the experience of war as possible. So you can see here, he added some smoke. Here he added a shell exploding. But yeah, he ended up striking a deal with the general of the whole Australian Expeditionary Force and struck a deal with him to do his composites, but only do 6 of them during the whole war. So he was able to work on them, but most of the pictures he took were still like normal pictures of the war. There's some really impressive pictures. And here are some pictures I showed before on stream, but he took some actual color pictures in the year 1915 or 1914. And you can see one of them here from the Antarctic expedition. Very fun. This one is beautiful too. This one is from, what's the name? Cape Denison or something like that, which is the windiest place on Earth. It's a beautiful picture. Anyway, enough about this guy. That was Frank Hurley for you guys. It's the guy who took these pictures and who took all the pictures I've been using, except for the grub. Thanks for the follow, Jib. Anyway, here are the 2 pictures we have so far. This is the first one we're gonna see, so you can kind of sort of make out something weird there. And the second one you can see it way more clearly. I'll reduce this a little bit. We also slightly moved the grub, so it doesn't look like it copy-pasted the same thing onto 2 images. Looks like there's a little slight perspective change. Pretty happy with this too. I might still change, if I change anything, it'll be like this transparent section, this transparent like window into the eyes, because still not like 100% convinced that it looks good or realistic. Still a bit on the fence about that. I mean, this is the core of composite in images. In the world, your vision is something that could not be single. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's that's why to me compositing is in many ways closer to traditional arts, to painting, than it is to photography. Because in photography you're trying to capture a single moment, and that's why in many parts of photography it's very frowned upon to manipulate your images, because you're altering that reality you're trying to capture. And it makes sense. Like in wartime photography, you're trying to capture like the reality of war. So if you try to pass a fake thing as a real one, then it's quite unethical, isn't it? This guy, just to note, he was absolutely clear about what he was doing. He didn't try to pass those composites as real pictures, and he was clear about trying to doing them to show the full extent of war into as much as possible into a single picture, which makes sense. So I think it's justified in this case, but he still fell under a lot of scrutiny because of it. And I think in general, a wartime photographer nowadays making a composite would be kind of frowned upon still. But yeah, it's closer to, say, hang on. I don't know the exact name of this one. It's closer to, say, this painting by Roya, which is a battle. And it's obviously not a real moment, but it's capturing so many little things that is kind of compressing the whole idea of this battle, of this encounter in one single image. And I think that's very powerful. That's why I think compositing is closer to this than to just a normal wartime photography picture, you know? That's why I think, at least. So, in my opinion, a lot of the fundamentals or the techniques that come from the traditional arts apply really well to composites. It's sort of like you're painting, but with pictures instead of brushes. Fall somewhere in between, but a lot of traditional art techniques are very applicable to this. Hey Shreddy, how are you doing? Journalism photography, yeah, exactly. That part of photography shouldn't. See, and this is what this guy was like found under a lot of criticism, because he was the official photographer for the Australian Expeditionary Force, or the Australian Imperial Force. I don't really call the name exactly, but from the Australian troops that went to the First World War. But I feel like as long as you're being clear about it, it's more understandable. Okay, so we got picture number 1, picture number 2, and there's a whole other group of pictures, and I want to do at least one of them, but I still haven't chosen which one. That's why all of them are open here, and I want to have them with the block of ice on here. I'm kind of liking this one. Has a nice feel to it. They're kind of calm, just chilling. This one's are less usable. This one you could like put it, although I've made it so large that it's kind of hard to, like, how are they gonna fit it onto the sled? That's a difficult thing. I was thinking about this earlier today. Photographers that don't like manipulation, that makes sense. When you change your camera settings, you're changing the lights. Yeah, exactly, and post-processing has always been a part of photography. Back in the darkroom days, you'd change your pictures a lot in the darkroom. Yeah, there's extents of manipulation, I guess, and it falls into unethical once you're trying to pass that manipulation as something real. So obviously that's why, as Shreddy said very well, journalism photography shouldn't use, like, it's more than the basic post-processing things. Because then you're presenting a fake version of reality. And you're trying to pass it off as reality. Okay, so let's make a short list. I like this one, although I would get rid of one of the guys, sorry. This one not that much. I like this one, and so okay, one of these three. I think it's gonna be the other picture in this collection. These two have some similar angles. This one's pretty nice from a, I don't know, from a photographic sense. I like the profile view there. I like all three of those. Here I think it's the most reasonable one to use. So, how am I gonna make this? I think I'll make it in a new document, because it's just gonna be easier, and to try to fit all this in the same one. Also, it's gonna get super large. Oh, it pretty much fits. What's up with old pictures? I guess I cropped them after the fact, so the sizes would be a little bit different. But no picture in this whole collection, pretty much no picture has the same ratio on the crop. They all seem to be slightly different. Okay, let's take the whole ice with lava. No, I gotta fix that layer mask. There we go. And pull it on here. Give it a second. There we go. So, we're gonna clear up some of these ice. And we're gonna... I'll try to make it... Can I make a block out of it? That's what I would like to do. What's the best way to do that? Also, okay. Let's hide this actually. How about... use a different picture for the larva? Just so we don't use the same picture for all three. It's a quite a simple thing. I think if we find a larva from a different angle, kind of like sideways maybe, I think that could be better. Where we have a little variety. This one doesn't really work. This one kind of has a slightly more of an angle. Not these, not these. This is not even a larva. I think we're gonna go to the internet. Okay, let's try to find a good one. Let's look specifically for grub. Is that how you say it? Okay, that's better. This one, it's already curled up. It's kind of from the side. It's kind of dirty, but it's gonna be in the eyes, so it's pretty good. Good copyright. Okay. Is it? There we go. Let's leave Photoshop to do the work for us. Not great. That could be worse. Yeah. Kinda gross. Okay, let's try to have Photoshop fix some of it for us. I mean, let's also remember that it's gonna be pretty out of focus. So as long as we keep some of the hair, at least some of the texture the hair makes on that edge, I think that's probably gonna be fine. Once we encase it in ice. There we go. Okay, there's a couple things I want to make. Let's get the patch tool. Better. First time I see a bug retouch. True. Very true. It's not a... Well, have you seen Bear? Bear Thunder. He does a lot of bug photography. He probably retouches them. I don't know if you see it. Black and whites. There we go. Let's try to get it as close as possible. Oh yeah, you'll see a lot of bug retouches here. You know, do that frequency separation on the bug. Getting it to look shiny. Yeah, these little details are not the same. So I guess I'll remove this little spots here. Although I like them, kinda like them. But they're not on the original, so they have to go. Yeah, patch tool is what we need here. Also remove some of the grime with it. Look at that contour and highlight. We'll do some dodge and burn. Do all kinds of stuff. Kind of beauty retouch. I'm not gonna be able to get rid of all the dirt. So we'll just hope that once we blur this to hell, it'll be good. Okay, we need to get the size right. So that's the second thing. So we'll compare it to this guy. This guy is sitting down, so let's just take it to S is... Hang on. Where's the total length of this? Oh. About 12%. This one is about 18. So it's like around this size should be good. If we're doing this from head to toe, that should be as tall. Well, it's sitting down kind of hard. Botoxing. Well, there might be some money in this. There's a lot of macro photographers that want to make bugs look good. That seems about the right size, right? Be like slightly. There we go. Okay, if we encase this in a big block of ice, we can make it fit in here. Which was kind of my fear, that it wouldn't fit. Okay. Big block of ice. How are we gonna do this? Block, block, block. I'm gonna use this surface. I gotta find again the picture I use. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Found you a niche. It's good. You gotta find a niche. Something that only you do. And I was actually surprised to see there wasn't like a lot of this, a lot of photo manipulation applied to horror and that kind of and creepy stuff. I was super surprised to find that it wasn't a thing. So I guess I feel like I'm treading new ground with a few of these things, which honestly is an ish. And it's not like a new thing to do monsters and creepy stories in a visual way, but most of what I've seen is just traditional art style. I mean, excluding the people that do fake like UFO pictures and stuff. It's a different breed. Yeah, should we make a square, like a cubic block of ice? So, yeah, if we take this, oh, weird. Okay. This is strange. Oh. This is so hard to control. Why is it doing that? The only thing I could think that was similar, the approach, was the original people that did Picture of the Slender Man. Slender Man was born through a Photoshop competition. I don't know if you knew that. It was in Something Awful forums, which is a relic of the internet. One of those old sites like 4chan. I think it's still it must definitely not as active as it used to be. I think it's still out there. Hey Ender, you're a relic. Thank you, I guess, if that's a compliment. Old man. So yeah, the Slender Man, creature Slender Man, was born through that competition, and the idea was Photoshop creepy stuff, creepy monsters into otherwise normal pictures, and someone photoshopped like a group of kids in the woods, something like that, and photoshopped this tall man with tentacles, and that became Slender Man. Became its own thing. I don't know who did that though. I don't know if they're still around, still making stuff like that. Do you remember worth 1000? No, I don't. That doesn't ring a bell. What is it? Oh, now it's working. It's a website that used to run Photoshop contests. I've never seen it. Is it not around anymore? Well, maybe I've seen stuff that came out of there, but I don't think I've ever visited that site. Oh, it's not here. Thanks for the follow, Hugo. Or Ugo? I don't know. Hang on. Where's the eyes picture? There it is. Found it. Okay, let's try to cut a little chunk from here. Get like a polygonal lasso, and doesn't have to be perfect cube. Okay. About something like that. In a little ice cube. And the idea would be to mount that onto the sled here. I can get all three of this, maybe tighten it up a little bit. Kind of like they cut it close to the grub's body. Mess with it a little bit too. Alright, Akosika. Thank you. And thanks for chatting. It's always nice to have you. Alright, now I start to light this and make it look correct, because it looks kind of wonky, doesn't it? It looks like 3 layers. I didn't touch at all. Good night. I can mess with them individually. Get this one brighter. Get that edge looking a little bit better. Yeah, make it a bit more irregular, because especially here, it's kind of messy. No, not messy enough, I guess. The way around. Business meeting. Oh boy, have fun. See you next time, Shreddy. Thanks for sticking around. Alright, that's pretty good, I think. Oh, okay. Can't really do this edge. There we go. Okay, where is the light coming from? From here. So if we're gonna put it like this side here should be the brightest one, I guess. We'll try to increase the contrast so we don't lose that texture. I'll still keep it the brightest. And then on top of the whole group, I'm gonna be doing some manual tweaking. A little bit of light, a little bit of shadow. So something for everybody. This is ice, so it's kind of hard to know where to paint your eye. It's not like a completely solid object, see-through, so kind of hard to know where to paint light or to paint shadow. Because the light is coming from here, this way. It would also shine through on this edge here. Oh, I guess I need to, there we go, link that. I also need a little bit of tweaking in the angles. And the good thing is, I'm not trying to make a perfect cube here. I can probably cut it a little bit roughly, so I don't mind if it's not perfect shape. As long as it sort of matches perspective of the rest. It's harder than it looks. So I'm messing with the whole thing. Okay, how about That's much easier. Or what'll look better, obviously, changing the layers that make it up. way better. Okay, let's get our little grub back. There it is. Obviously this layer mask doesn't work anymore, but it fits. Still fits, which is good. Don't have to change the block again. Alrighty. Well, so far this is going quite well. I'm still gonna change anything from what we've done so far today. It's probably gonna be the original ice it's encased in here. Don't know if I'm exactly happy with it. Oh, we are missing something. We are kind of missing something, which is the little tail puff that this one has. Hang on, let me see if I can use the same picture and get that same effect. Could be actually. Let's try that. Let's get a little black and white on top. And little levels on top of that. Whoa. There. Okay. Now let's get this inside. Around the same opacity, 50%. Hydropsyche sounds like a Pokemon thing. Is that the name of it? Oh yeah. Well, who knows, maybe the guy who named it was a big Pokemon fan. Okay, let's apply the layer mask and flip it vertically. That's too big. I guess it doesn't make sense that this is 50% and this is 52. Oh, also levels here. Hydropsyche, I choose you. It's a bug water Pokemon. Yeah, that's the right one. Obviously this looks much worse quality than the and the bug itself, no worries, because we'll reduce the quality of the bug in a second. Okay, other things we're adding on here. Let me save this, by the way, because it doesn't even have a name. Let's call it sled. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess we need to light it as if it was. In its environment, which makes sense. So, shadow on here. Shadow on here. And do this in overlay. Or normal. Normal. Since a lot of it will get flattened. This will help. Okay. Maybe I'll do overlay after all. Oh, what did I just do? There we go. Okay. Now, this, which is going to be turned into smart objects. And same thing for this. Okay, so this smart object is gonna get messed with. Gonna reduce the detail a ton by adding grain and making it big. And as you can see, that does quite a lot. Boom. Plus a bit of Gaussian. For good measure. And on top of you, same thing. I'm gonna add some grain. And some Gaussian. Grain again. There we go. I really like this way of reducing quality by adding grain, because it's very much a 2-in-1. It blends the picture very well. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Big grain. Big roughness too. Here too. There we go. What I just did, what it doesn't do is get the edges to look natural, or to lose the same quality. Like the edges stay the same pretty much. So I'll have to Well, I guess also the edges are in layer mask, not like in the layer itself. That makes sense too. So I'm gonna Gaussian blur those edges at layer mask. You can see here. Put it here. Put it here, and finally. Oh, that's a lot. There we go. Still a little bit more overlay. Or maybe not, because it's a very... There we go. Also want to do like the suggestion of the inside edges. I don't like this edge here. There we go. Okay. What else? Okay, let's review what we've done so far. We have first done this picture. We tried to make the grub look like it's inside the eyes. We made this ice sheet look transparent, or semi-transparent, I guess. We tried to make the two pictures here and here look similar, so we changed the lighting in the clothes so it looked like it was the same two guys. We changed the structure of the iceberg here, so it looked like the same iceberg in the two pictures. And then finally we went to this picture. We added the same bug in the eyes with some differences, so it doesn't look like I just copy pasted it. And then we went to the third picture, where I added the bug inside its block of ice, now already cut and ready to bring back to the base. And in this picture they've just put it on the sled. And yeah, they're ready to depart. I don't think I'll add any more pictures of them on the sled. I don't know, I'm not sure how I'll continue with this. I guess it'll depend more on the writing and obviously on the pictures I have available, which there are quite a few of them. So we have a wide range of possibilities. But so far we've done quite a bit in 4 hours, considering that this one here was made over 2 4-hour streams and 1 7-hour stream just to make these two pictures. Well, on the newspapers, I guess. But that was a lot of time for this one. This one took quite a while. This one, since the bug is a little bit simpler, I think that helps. But the research process itself was super long. Many hours the past few days trying to look for the good pictures. So yeah, taking that into account, it has taken a while so far. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where it is so far. We'll keep working on it. But I'll leave it at that for today.